What's going on, everybody? JT here. We've got C. Will. We've got David from Crypto for Change. This is the Next Block, episode 74. Today we have a fantastic slew of guests. We've got Lucas and William, the CEO and the COO of ExoWorlds NFT, an Openworld Metaverse project, cross-chain project building on Vechain, Algorand, I think Ethereum, a couple other chains. We'll get to all of that, but welcome to the show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit us up in the live chat, and let's get at it. How you doing, Lucas? How you doing, William?
Hey guys, pretty good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, all good. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I will say just a quick spot. Like, the Web3 space needs some solid games. So after watching your all's trailer on what you guys are building and got cooking, I really am rooting for you guys. It seems like it'd be a really fun, game style to play. And so I'm excited to kind of, dig into it, see what all the tokenomics, how everything works out. And also maybe even show that trailer to our audience so they can see what you guys got bringing to Algorand.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we're really excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Let's dive into it, because I actually largely agree with David here, because there's a lot of blockchain games out there that received hype, a lot of hype, but when you went to play them, they kind of just felt like you were jumping back in time, maybe going back 10, 20 years, at least graphics wise and gameplay wise. So a lot of people definitely are excited for a game that looks as well as some of these trailers do. So let's dive in. What is ExoWorlds on like a more high level overview, and then like what inspired you to create it? Either one of you can take that question.
Yeah. So ExoWorlds is a science fiction MMORPG. It's a Web3 game that we're building right now. There are a couple phases that we're building, 3 phases actually, that are all being built concurrently. We have a galaxy map that addresses more of an RTS style gameplay. This is 10,000 star systems with planets and their own subplanets, where you can trade resources, you can make alliances, you can wage war, more of an RTS experience. And then we have the shooter that we're currently building. All the trailers that you guys see are from the shooter. And that's a COD style, Valorant style, Fortnite style gameplay. We have, team death matches, we have free-for-alls, which are kind of like the Battle Royale style. And then ultimately, as we reach our maturity phase, we're going to get into the RPG. That's inventory, that's open world exploration, that's all the good stuff. I want it to be a cross between Starfield and No Man's Sky and GTA 5, but that's on the horizon, and really excited for it all to come together.
That's pretty ambitious, especially the names and the titles you just mentioned. What kind of made you guys, your brothers, I think you guys just told us before, what made you guys want to build, this type and, high level of a game?
Yeah, it was honestly, at first, I'm an artist, and that's how I came up with the collection. Almost 2 years ago, we minted 10,000 5K resolution planets. We didn't do layer-based PFPs. We went into Blender, and we rigged up Blender to do something that nobody had been doing at the time, like these kind of like 10,000 differently built scenes. You don't really do that with Blender. You go through many different programs. So we pushed that to the edge, and we created these procedural 3D globes. We rendered them in 5K. It took us like 3 weeks. And then I was thinking to myself, how can I take this to the next level? Because I always like to take things to the next level, And so I thought to myself for a little while, and then people are saying, man, Star Atlas came out with a new trailer, and I saw it, and I'm like, ExoWorlds could be like this, and probably better than what they're going to come out with. And from what I've seen, all of these big ticket games, they're coming out, they got all sorts of issues. And, I think there's a huge space for us to grow into if we can get our stuff right.
Yeah.
William,
I further to that and say, part of this ambition is because of that. We did something that had not been done before. And I don't even know of any projects that did something with the level of quality that we did it. So it is that ambition of, we did something, people ate it up. They absolutely loved us. Yeah. And whatever we're going to do, it has to be the same quality. So if we're going to build a game, it has to be that same level of ambition, that same level of quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. One question I guess I would have is, we've seen, obviously Algorand ecosystem has some games that are on the blockchain. The one that I play and it comes to mind is Fractal Monsters. That's a game that, you don't really, you sign a transaction at the start, but you don't really notice you're really playing too much on the blockchain and whatnot. And I'd be interested to know how, with it being like a COD or a Fortnite style, game, even in that aspect of, versing each other, how is it going to be integrated on a blockchain? Like, are you guys, abstracting that fully away to where you don't even really know you are, or does it have this like, blockchain feel where you're signing transactions, whether that be in a marketplace or things like that? How are you guys handling that?
Yeah, no, well, we want to go for 100% a seamless feel, right? Because at the end of the day, we're targeting gamers, not just Web3, but Web2. So you're going to have 100, 200, 300,000 players. You need to make it integrated. So one of the steps we already took is today, you don't need a blockchain wallet to sign up for an account at ExoWorlds. If you go over to the website, you just put in your email or your Apple ID and you get a blockchain wallet totally registered. And we're doing that right now on BNB chain, but we're going to expand also that service to Vechain. And hopefully eventually when we build on Algorand, when we finish our building on Algorand, it'll be there too. Now for the other side, the transaction heavy side, that's just for logging in, playing the game itself. It's one of the big reasons we actually started going with Vechain. Vechain has one great adoption tool called fee delegation. And we're exploring that in other chains as well, like Algorand. We actually recently sat down with the Algorand Foundation to discuss technicals with them, how they can help us develop. But fee delegation pretty much means is that ExoWorlds Foundation, we can pay the fees for other wallets. So you sign up with your email, you get an account, a Vechain wallet, for example, and then you're running through, you're gonna have to do all these transactions in game. Well, it's not gonna have to be that whole complex Web3 thing. It can just be a little pop-up. Hey, do you accept this? Are you okay with what's happening? The player just clicks okay, and we take care of the transaction on the back end. And one of the ideas that Lucas came up with that to really get those users educated is, let's say you are a Web2 user, you don't have a planet, right? So you can play the game free to play, and you're going to see these little tokens on the top right sort of counter up. They're going to count, they're going to count, they're going to count. You can't collect them yet because you don't have a planet, right? But you can still play as much as you want. And if the user wants to, he feels curious enough, he's going to click those tokens. He'd be like, what is this? I want to turn these tokens into reality. And he's going to click, maybe a little, mode will pop up. Hey, by the way, do you want to learn about cryptocurrencies and tokens? Here you go. If you want to claim these tokens, this is what you have to do. So fully seamless experience. And if the user wants to get into Web3, he can.
Yeah. And also that's how we have it on the site now. We have a total fiat to crypto onboarding. So let's say you just got a debit card. You're in Indonesia. You got a debit card, you got a bank account. You can sign up to our site right now. It'll give you a BNB wallet that you don't know how to use. But then you go on to Mint because we have the live Mint happening. Or you want to go, when we get it for planets, you want to buy a planet. All you have is a debit card. You can actually use our aggregator or the third party that we use, which is a payment aggregator. And it gives you all these options to get the best deal. You buy the crypto and use that crypto to either mint or get a planet. So that kind of experience for Web2 gamers to get fully into our ecosystem, we really are planning for a mass adoption highway for these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this all sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing that portion of it. Can you speak on the cross-chainness that we see with Polygon? Looking at the website, you have a lot of different options, as you mentioned, for wallet connecting. How does that all work together in terms of using different blockchains underneath?
Yeah. Well, that's all going to be very much on the surface for logging in and playing the game itself. We're going to have So all these blockchains are going to log into the game. You're going to get a wallet address, right? Everyone's going to have one, whether or not you're Polygon or you're a Web2 user. Those blockchains are going to just communicate the addresses themselves to the game. But the underlying, where is everything stored? Where is everything written? We're thinking about only choosing one or two chains. We're thinking about approaching foundations who are willing to support us and who are in love with the game and want that on their chain and saying, hey, we're going to put all the transactions on your chain. Doesn't matter if there's a Polygon user. Like you said, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, and Vechain. Those are all the login options. So let's say I'm on Polygon, I have my address, but when I interact with the game, the game itself will actually be speaking to the Algorand chain to write those transactions, or the Vechain chain to write those transactions. So, and we're going to expand more. We want Cardano login possibilities and more.
And it's not just login, right? We actually built our own smart contract suite for bridging these planets and the tokens as well. So
it's marketplace, bridging, voting, staking. All of those features are fully cross-chain with Polygon, with Binance Smart Chain, with Ethereum, and with Vechain.
Nice. And how does the Exo token kind of play in and all that with that cross chain? Like, say you have your marketplace and you have people who are logging in using either an Algorand wallet, a Ethereum wallet, or a Vechain wallet, and they're buying and selling maybe these NFTs, these worlds, planets, or maybe it's even customizable options or skins or things like that in the game. Are you going to be able to use like all of these various different currencies, like the network currencies, or is it all going to be done, using the Exo token? What's that look like?
Well, we want to prioritize the Exo token for sure. So a lot of smaller things in game, getting attachments, abilities, right? You want to use your jetpack a little bit more. That's all going to be utility for our tokenomics. But if you're on the main marketplace and you want to buy a couple of planets or a couple of more high-level NFTs, then absolutely, we have the option open for you list that for Matic, you list it for BNB, and fully cross-chain again. If you have a BNB wallet with some Exo, but for some reason, hey, I'm a Polygon now, I'm a Polygon guy now, just bridge it over. It's on our website, on our UI. You just bridge it over and you use that Polygon marketplace.
Yeah, our philosophy is not to gate any assets, but to definitely streamline the experience in game. So, whatever assets, big assets you guys got, game assets or whatever planets, those are going to be free to move around, free to bridge, free to buy, from all the different chains that you can buy from. So we don't have to have any barriers of entry. I think barriers of entry, people already have to learn about crypto. Adding more barriers of entry is just going to mess the thing up. So that's what we're focused on.
And could you talk a little bit about the team that you guys are working with? How big is the team? Who's creating all the graphics and the gameplay? Who's writing the contracts? How do you divvy up all those duties?
Yeah. I think we have around 22 people in the team, William. Last time I checked. We have 6 blockchain developers. I got a lead blockchain developer from Egypt. He's like a whiz kid. He basically, the reason why you guys see such amazing graphics in ExoWorlds is because he was the one where everybody else, and we've gone through like 4 teams. I think we're on the 15 now of our developers. He was the one that was willing to grow, willing to keep up with the best practices, and willing to keep up with the best technologies out there. And that's what I'm trying to build all of our teams around, is know the best practices and technology. That's why we're on 5.2 right now. All the great lighting you guys
are game developers, not blockchain developers, right?
No, just in general, all of our developers. But in terms of the game developers, we got 6 developers lead in Egypt, and he's got us all the way through Lumen, Nanite. So all these graphics you guys see, that's part of the team that we have there. We have a web development team, we have a blockchain team, and we have a marketing team as well. So all in all, 22 people. And it's quite a lot to manage, but it's what we do every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is a big team. But could you guys talk about a little bit more about each of your backgrounds as well? Like, how did you get to this point where you decided to, build a game? Did you guys have experience making games in the past, or was this always a vision of yours? Could you speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, Will.
No, well, Lucas and I are brothers. We grew up together. We traveled all around the world. Our stepfather worked for a telecom company, Ericsson. And so we sort of hopped around because his job moved us around. We finally ended up in the US, where we did high school, college. Lucas did college there. Lucas studied at Johns Hopkins, totally different area. I mean, he was in applied math, and I went to study business finance. Right. So I loved economics. I thought maybe I'd work at a bank or a private equity firm or something like that. And Lucas as well, loved maths, ended up going in the direction of creativity, creative writing. He's a really great writer, artist as well, opened up his own art studio. And that was his side of the entrance, the art studio. And then my side of the entrance was sort of, since I was in school for business finance, me and my friends would get together. We would talk about crypto, like this new thing back in 2017, 2018. And we started researching more and more until finally we got into Vechain in early 2018. And we accompanied it for several years. We invested in a block explorer, the largest block explorer on Vechain. It's called Vechain Stats. Great place, great two partners that we have there, Fabian and Paul, great guys. And we always want to get more hands-on. We wanted to make our own thing. So 2021, I would say it's about September, October. It's about to be 2 years now. Lucas called me up and he said, yo, I'm gonna take my artistic knowledge and my creative knowledge and let's do something on chain. NFTs is a big deal right now. So that it's really, we each brought something to it. I brought my love for crypto and the blockchain side, and he brought his artistic and creative side. And even till the company, till today, that's how we are. He is the artistic, creative, future thinking, big idea kind of guy. And I'm more the minute details, day-to-day kind of action guy. And so it creates a really, really good mix. I don't think if it was different, I think if we were both minute details or both big idea guys, it wouldn't have worked so well.
Yeah, I think it's dope that brothers working together. It's a good unity there, and it's always positive. We met a few teams of brothers. That's dope. Can you speak on the building experience? I seen that was a Unreal Engine, and I watched some dope stuff online with like Grand Theft Auto type style things. And can you speak on the experience of building on Unreal Engine 5, I believe?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So I'm mostly on game side. William deals with all the accounting, the blockchain stuff, web development. I am heavy on game development. I'm actually, if you can see in the back, I got the game open. I'm going through I had all these like super repetitive tasks. So I got a mouse recorder and it's just doing all the tasks for me. It's great. But yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is fantastic, guys. There's never been a better time to develop games ever in the history of mankind. Never been a better time. We've got with 5.2 and even 5.3 that just launched. I can't wait to get to it. You got Lumen, that's got indirect like lighting. It's got ambient lighting. The lighting is so realistic. It's like day and night from 4.27. So they did this jump. It took Unreal, I think it took them like 6 years to go from 4 to 5. So now that we have 5, we have Lumen, fantastic. And you guys will see, we have a lot of foggy maps, and you can get these volumetric fogs to come in, and with the sunlight or the moonlight, I got this awesome vaporwave moon. It's like the size of the sun, and you literally see the moonlight. You see the shadows being cast by the objects in front of the moon. It's really, really awesome. So you have that. You have nanite. Nanite is another. It blows everything out of the water. I really think Unity is going to have a hard time. Nanite reduces any object into these triangles called nanite triangles. You don't need to have low poly assets anymore in your game. You can import direct high poly. You go to ArtStation, you go to the marketplace, they usually give you low poly because that's what games take. But now I have to tell people, hey, give me this asset in high poly. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. I'm building on 5.2. So, these are huge technologies, and I'm really excited to see how NVIDIA and Unreal Engine deal with AI, because I see a lot of potential there. And where that'll go in is the third feature of Unreal that is just major. It's called procedural content generation. All of the maps that you guys are going to see, we got a tropical map, we got 2 tropical, a redwood and a rainforest map. Then we got 2 Terran maps. I think it's a beach forest and a hornbeam forest. Those are I think that's the tree type. So we got these 4 biomes, guys. You're going to see, it's like, you're going to think it took this team 2 months to make this map. It really only took me a week to get the graph set in, and then a couple more weeks to fine tune all the visuals. But you no longer have to spend months with a whole team to develop an environment. You set up the graphs and it procedurally drops everything in. And I think that really ties in with our dream for an open world RPG is these PCG boxes, they can be spawned and spawned and spawned. So now not only do you have the ability to have a beautiful map with much less time than it takes to sculpt one in in the old methods, but now you can have those boxes just repeat. You move to the next box, okay, you let the last box go away and the new box will load in. So you really have this infinite world capacity. And I don't think we would have been able to get to where we are or even succeed if it weren't for 5.2, because a lot of studios, they got 50 developers, they got 30 developers. They aren't all going to learn 5.2. So we had the unique ability to get a team to get on board, get with the program, and develop with the new technologies. And that's key.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely seen a lot of the games that have been coming out, you know, just even in the Web 2 world, you know, using the Unreal Engine, the lighting, like you said, like everything is, you know, even like water flow, like everything is so much more dynamic and, you know, fluid, I would say, with like what you would see in a real world scenario. You know, let's switch gears a little bit, you know, because obviously, you know, videos are great, you know, obviously the demos are cool, but people want meat on the bones, right? You know, we want to see when will people be able to test out this game? And also, how are you guys, I know you just launched the Exo token, so there, you know, there is going to be a tokenization aspect to, you know, I guess you could say gamification, you know, to this platform as well. How do you guys plan to kind of take what happened in the past run up with GameFi, you know, with things where the people who were early kind of, you know, they got in, they bought everything cheap, and then they made it too expensive really for entry later on. You know, how do you guys plan to combat that? And when can we actually expect to test this game out, earn the Exo token, you know, and do some of these things?
Nice. I'll leave William to the dates, or else I'm going to get in trouble. But as for the gamification, I think that we've really learned our lesson with games like Axie Infinity. You know, the way that kind of crashed and burned was for me, it was indicative of unsustainable tokenomics. And that's what we really want to avoid, is unsustainable tokenomics. We don't want to use our token as a part of a marketing expense to put money on the streets for people to come and inflate our user base. That's not where we're at. We're very comfortable and very confident with how our game is going to play out and how people are going to like them. So instead, what we're trying to get away from is not play to earn, but play and earn. You play and you can earn, you know, and the more exciting version of that on steroids is, you know, compete to earn. You compete, and if you win by a competition of skill, then you earn. So I think that what we're going to see with ExoWorlds is a lot of tournament events where you have, you know, 5v5, 7v7, even 10v10, and you're in a tournament style competition where the winner either takes all or takes a big portion of it. And we're going to have to see how we're going to distribute that, you know, for the team that wins. Does the guy that get, you know, he got 80% of the kills, does he get more? We don't know yet. We're still playing around with the numbers, but compete to earn is definitely where it's going to be at.
So it seems like you would then, before William grabs to the dates and stuff, it seems like you would have this, you know, maybe like a Fortnite version of the game where it's free. Anybody with a phone or with a, you know, desktop computer can play it. And you know, like even in Fortnite, they have V-Bucks, right? You know, or I think it's V-Bucks, maybe it's F-Bucks. I don't know. It's one of the two. But, you know, you had that virtual currency that you could buy skins and do stuff with, but you could also literally play the game for free for, you know, I think I played it for free for like 6 months before I ever dropped even $20 on the game. So it sounds like that's what you would have. And then if you wanted to get serious, you got that more competitive earn, you know, play to earn style.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought it up. I was just about to say, just like Fortnite, you know, you can play totally free. And if you want to get some extra cool skins, you want to get some stuff that nobody has, maybe a little cool tracer companion to follow you around, you know, shouting some anime lines or something like that, then yeah, come buy some tokens, spend. And the compete to earn, like Lucas said, it was his idea really, but play the game. Are you cool? Are you good? You played for free for 2 months. You really think you can go for it? Join the competitions, put a little bit down, you know, whatever it is, Matic, BNB. And that also, like I said before, it helps transition users from Web 2 to Web 3. Because Web 2 users will be able to totally play. And finally, they'll say, yo, I want to compete. You know, I think I can do it. And we'll say, hey, you want to compete? You need crypto. Here's how you can get it. Here's how you can learn about it. So
and that's the gameplay style that you got, you know, even like watching the video, it almost looks like a mixture of like Destiny meets Fortnite meets Call of Duty. It's kind of a mixture of all of them. But are you guys going to have like a, you know, open field, like battle royale type thing to try to entice that side? Or is this mainly going to be more like you know, 7v7, team deathmatch, King of the Hill, maybe, or other variation type games?
Yeah. So right now we have Team Deathmatch, we have King of the Hill, we have Capture the Flag, and then we have Free for All, which is Battle Royale. So we have all these 4 game modes working on our maps, really to get that Fortnite feel. I think the size of the map needs to be big enough. And right now, I would say our maps have got to be like
15 v15 maps at least, maybe 20 v20.
Yeah, exactly. So and the tools that we're using are very powerful, right? They're very powerful. So they're heavy. So that's the only thing that's stopping me. Like you ask William, I'm always giving them bigger maps. I've had to reduce our map sizes by a lot, so we can have something manageable. But the technology is there to have a Fortnite, sized map, and even bigger, because they're not that big.
Oh yeah, especially in comparison to some video games out there, like that, like Mines or Minecraft and things like that. As far as like the size of these maps and really the detail that you can put into this game to really make it, make people, from the Web 2 world or the Web 3 world want to come and play it. What limitations are you guys facing using blockchain? Is there, obviously you're using Unreal Engine, that's top of the line. You have the graphics and everything there that you can really build up. Is there any limitations though, from a standpoint on blockchain that you're finding trouble with, or has it been really smooth sailing, building on the various, Binance, Ethereum, Algorand, Vechain?
Yeah. So in the map, take this well, in the game right now, we've connected to Vechain. That's the only chain that we connected to so far, because that's where we want or are looking to have most of the transactions happen in game. Like William said, we're looking for a sustainable, cheap, and very reliable blockchain. We can't have transactions go up and down. We can't wait for validation to take too long. Vechain, also Algorand, they're super fast. Finality is almost instant. It's fantastic. So we're really just trying to focus on those types of chains to get all of our game data transacted. And I think it was almost a year ago or 8 months ago, we actually made our first transaction buying and selling planets in the engine. So we had our back end and slight dabbler in blockchain, a developer, Loy. She actually was able to put that through. So in terms of connecting to the blockchain, we have that technology. As for putting it into the specific mechanics that we have with the characters and the shooting, that's an issue for game development, making sure everything there is working right, obviously testing. But I think that we definitely have to see what it's going to be like for Binance, for Matic, for Vechain. It's in, even for the big stuff. You want to buy something in the game, maybe not like, oh, you got a high score, you're in the leaderboards. Maybe that's going to be Vechain, that's going to be Algorand, maybe. So yeah, we've had some experience, no trouble so far, but we have to integrate into the FPS.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with so many faster layer ones out there, it'll be interesting to see this new wave of gaming, NFT gaming, and Web3 gaming. Which chains they choose. Obviously, Ethereum has a lot of layer 2s that are trying to be faster and cheaper, but they really don't have anything against some of the ones that are even the layer 1s out there, like the Vechain, the Algorand. Obviously, you have other ones like Hedera, Near. There's a lot of other options that are going on. And William, I didn't want to get away from the question of timing. When are we going to get to test this game? I didn't forget about it.
I thought you were going to forget. I
was about to bring it up.
Well, look, so there's a couple of different types of releases. There is the initial, what we call the whale release, which is to our biggest whales and to influencers out there that we want, posting videos, hyping this up. That's going to be one release. Then it's going to be a second release to open up to our general holders, all the ExoWorlds NFT holders, and then the public release. And we're expecting the public release before the end of the year. Now, the whale to influencer release, we're hoping to get that in by the end of October, if not mid of November. Keep in mind, those are developer timelines, and we all know how developer timelines go. So,
yeah, but somewhat like a closed beta, but video, at least, wise, there would be like released playable demos, like that type of stuff being released.
Exactly. And well, you guys who you do videos, you guys do marketing content, we would love to release that closed beta to all three of you. You guys have
I'd love to test it out. I can smash on C Will and JT in some gaming. I think I might have a slight edge.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna be releasing more and more. Our marketing team does a great job of sort of accompanying the development. So all the videos that we release, a lot of people ask us on Twitter, we release a video and they say, okay, but how much of this is realistic? How much of this is in game?
Yeah.
And all of the content that we release is in game. It's like what's ready and what's built inside the game. So just this morning we got the latest build, which I have yet to play, had some other work to do. But at the end of the day, we're going to get everybody together, me, Lucas, and two marketing heads, Ronnie and Gabriel, and we're going to play it. And everything that we're going to play, imagine we're all 4 in different parts of the world, is what you see in those videos. So it's all real. And that's why we like to have that story. Every week, post videos of what's real so the community can see, hey, this is getting closer. Hey, it's really starting to look polished. I bet it's coming out soon.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I'll say, speaking on gameplay, what's the console or system or like website? How is it being played?
Yeah. So streaming on a website is going to be way too expensive at first. We're doing PC. And honestly, I'd like to go into PlayStation, Xbox, Apple if we can, depending on what kind of graphics card they're using in the MacBooks. But right now it's going to be PC. But it really isn't so difficult to go to those other platforms. We're using a base. So Lyra is a game base that Unreal Engine came out with. They came out with it in March, I think. And it has the ability to be cross-platform. So it already has that code that, Epic Games wants to release to game studios. So we're going to be using that to be able to cross into Xbox, PlayStation, and Apple as well. And all the UI, it reformats. And so that's actually going to be great. The only thing we're going to have to do is contact those platforms, get our developer accounts all aligned, and then get it on.
So is it also going to be, it says PC, it's pretty much all the gaming I do now is PC gaming. Is it going to be available in like big marketplaces like Steam? Are you guys looking to launch in places like that? Or
Steam, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, looking at the game, in the gameplay, especially with the competitive side, I mean, if the visualizations that we've been shown, if that's the game, if it's smooth, if the factions and the different champions that you can build and play, I mean, it definitely has vibes of like a mixture between like maybe an Overwatch and a Counter-Strike, from a competitive standpoint. But obviously, if it is a bigger open world, that's when you could start, considering maybe like a Call of Duty or a Fortnite, esque type thing. But it definitely has, it has the legs, and obviously, I would love, I've been waiting for games to kind of come up in the space because I was a huge player of League of Legends. I did play Fortnite for quite a while, but then at the end of the day, all that time, right? I spent years on League of Legends. I have nothing to show for it now. Like literally, I mean, I can obviously go back to my account. I have the skins, I have the things I spent money on, but at the end of the day, I didn't extract value and I couldn't move that value. And I guess in what ways do you guys plan for people to be able to extract that value or move value, when they come and play your game and they've been, playing it for, say months, years and things like that? I know it's kind of big picture, but what's your thought there?
I think being a Web3 project really addresses that. I think that, with tokens and with these different releases, Web3 game companies have a lot of means of revenue. And so I think this democratization of assets is something that we can take on. It's not something that they can take on. I mean, ask Epic Games, who owns, Fortnite, ask them to make a secondary market for their skins. They'll laugh you out of the room. That's like all of their revenue. And so I think they've got what they think is a good thing going, and they don't want to mess with the magic formula. And we are the ones that are trying to disrupt that industry. So we want to break that formula. We want to make our own. And that's why Web3 gives people the ability to go to marketplaces, whether it's our own or whether they want to exchange it amongst themselves. It is literally the tech highway for people to be trading and for them to manage their assets. Whereas before, with your League of Legends account and with William's League of Legends account, which he used to be in love with, It's hard. You got to go to a black market, like we saw with RuneScape. The only thing you could do is go to black market. Well, now we're not locked in that business model. So I really think the Web3 is going to be such a big change for the Web2 users. They're going to fall in love with the system. They're going to understand it's not just for games. It's not just for game assets. It's for everything. Web3 is a highway for the financial and property management of your personal property, and it's going to revolutionize everything.
Well, the good thing I see is that, you guys projects like yours are provide another option, so if people still want to do both, that's another option there. And that's what I like. In terms of you guys like roadmap and rollout, and you mentioned earlier talking to foundations, are you in any accelerator programs, or have like some type of support that can keep y'all developing?
Yeah. Well, in terms of accelerated programs, we don't have that. We have a very, very close connection and relationship with Vechain. We've won a few grants from them and a few awards. And we are in talks with both Algorand and Vechain on how they see our project in their chain in the future, and how they're willing to, start supporting the ecosystem and the community in different ways. So we're really excited about that. I think that with the launch of the prototype and more progress on the public release, I think that we're going to see a lot of interest by a lot of chains, because as you guys said, there is a huge hole in the Web3 gaming market right now. A lot of our competitors have just, they've either failed or they ran, they rugged or they failed. So I think it's a unique opportunity for us with these chains, especially when we show them what we're made of, and we've been working so hard for it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, that's why my company won't release something until I say, this is ready, guys. And that might take a little longer than the same company or a different company with the same product. So I'm really excited. I think we're going to blow people's minds, and these chains will really see what we're made of.
Yeah, I definitely, on top of what Lucas is saying, because he hit on a solid point about what will people think of us when we release the product. And I think Crypto for Change touched on that before. We don't have a product right now, and the ideas is good. People can see that we're building, and we have a lot of trust from a great community, which is amazing. But there are a lot of people who are on the fence because they're not cool with getting down behind something that they haven't seen and really felt with their own eyes. And can anyone blame them after the last 10 years of crypto, how it is? No, they're totally right. No, I myself would do the same. And so it's going to be a monumental moment for us having that prototype out for the public, because it will show everyone we are real. We want to build something of quality. We hope to accelerate that conversation with those foundations much, much more, and bring in more community. At the end of the day, we're a game, so we need players for it to be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And as for continuing game development, like you guys said, we are in the middle of our token mint. So we're getting people minting all the time. We've already secured costs for 8 months now. So, I mean, the release and the game, it's coming. It's already guaranteed with the very few amount of days that we've been in the sale. I think we're in the 5th day right now. We're in the 6th day. 4th or 5th day. And we've already sold out, William, almost 75% of the whitelist mint?
Yeah, past 76, 77%.
Oh, nice. So we've got costs for the next 8 months. I'm really excited. I'm super bullish because we only need a fraction of that to release the prototype. After that, it's all icing.
Yeah, and also, is the Exo token, is there that side of gamification on like asset, that price asset being like in liquidity pools and like that gamification, or I know a lot of games that are on Algorand, their token is not available on exchanges and in liquidity pools, because they fear some type, SEC enforcement and that, side of it. But is the Exo token like that type of extractable value where you can sell it for, say, algo, ETH, whatever it is?
Yeah, I'll lead the foundation for William's answer, and that is, so ExoWorlds Foundation, ExoWorlds is a Singaporean entity. We set ourselves up. We got all our ducks in a row. We got legal opinions. We are fully set up and fully legitimate in Singapore. So those are the laws that we're under, and it's going to do really well for us. It's a really great space with great legal clarity for us. Will, I'll let you take the answer.
Yeah, going on for that, one of the big things that we saw, and it's usually like a checkbox whenever we were filling out like company documents about what kind of services are we offering, are especially about your token. Does your token interact with other third parties in a financial way, or is it used only on your platform? Because if it's only on your platform, it's much better. It really is a game. It really is a token. And so that's one of the routes that we're actually trying to go for, is creating liquidity pools on ExoWorlds. People come to ExoWorlds because then it really is, we are the platform, we are the game. It's sort of like V-Bucks. They sell digital tokens, but it's their own platform. They don't put it on what's that famous stock trading app in the US? I forget the name of it now. Robinhood. You don't buy V on Robinhood. That would make it a financial SEC asset. No, you're going to come to ExoWorlds.io. We're going to have a cool liquidity pool, maybe for some BNB and for some USDT, and you're going to be able to trade and get some Exo there and use it on our website, on our platform. So Lucas has been really, really on top, and me as well here on the other side. We've been really on top to make sure that we go by the book. We had some good consultation, with an old project that was on Vechain. They are a gaming platform. Their name is Vulcanverse. So they used to be on Vechain. They ended up making their own chain, Elysium. And we had great consultation with their CEO, Jamie, really nice guy, super positive about ExoWorlds. And he told us, he said, guys, like, make sure you take the extra amount of money to do everything the proper way. Have a KYC, go to Singapore, set up a foundation, get a legal opinion, get a token sale agreement with all the laws, because, okay, you're going to spend an extra 40, 50K more, but the rest of your life, you're going to thank yourself. So
that's huge. Singapore, we know they just had Token 49, Algorand Foundation is out there. It's a lot of businesses and companies. And that's what I like to hear, is that you all are doing your paperwork. Because that's a big hindrance in this space as well, is the non-clarity, though we have transparency on the chains. Interesting.
Is there any worry or any limitations for people being able to play the game in any jurisdiction or any geolocation, or will it be open for anybody to play and get access to?
I think we have to block the crazy countries, like the dictatorships. But other than that, I think it's all clear to go.
North Korea is a definite no-go.
All right, so sorry to all of our friends who are watching from North Korea, which I wouldn't imagine is very many. One other thing, we were kind of talking about, this is more just kind of just shooting the talk, but Counter-Strike skin sells for $400,000, probably the most expensive gun in a video game history, right? That just happened. I think it was like August, or it was this year, April, March, something like that. And you're seeing more of these headlines kind of pop up. And I've often thought it's, this is what Web3 gaming can become, right? But not having to worrying about like the user, right? Someone who gets into a game early, maybe like I think of League of Legends, right? If you were some of those early people who got those skins that are no longer available, but you can't really sell those. There's no League of Legends doesn't have a marketplace where, hey, I've been playing for so long, Blitzcrank was an OG character. I have his first skin ever. I can sell that and make money, right? And I even think about like seasons, right? And even the smart contract ability with being able to maybe burn, past season tokens or past season NFTs to gain access to new seasons. What are your all's thoughts on how, you can incorporate some of those things into ExoWorlds?
Yeah, definitely. I think the burning of the battle pass NFTs might be a really cool idea, Crypto for Change. I'll credit you if that ever goes live. That's awesome. As for skins, I mean, $400,000 primary market, not secondary.
I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I want to.
Yeah, that is
I have to
insane.
read through it again. But no, I mean, obviously, Counter-Strike Go is one of the largest, you know, I would say competitive games out there. I mean, it's surprising, but also not, because you know you got to think of, you know, if you're really into basketball cards, a Jordan Prime, you know, will sell for, you know, crazy amounts, and that's the kind of the way I see the early stages. You know, not to hype anybody up on any specific game, but I do believe whether it's, you know, local developers who are, you know, two brothers building an awesome game, and it comes out and it grows over 5-10 years, ends up becoming the next Counter-Strike Go type thing or even bigger, or it could be a massive player like, you know, Epic Games or Blizzard or whatever it is, being like, you know what, we're not going to get left behind. We're going to adapt. I mean, I've thought for long times that Madden and things like FIFA should have implemented some sort of you know, burning mechanism, like where, you know, you're releasing a game every single year with new players, but the people who pulled, like in a FIFA, like you pulled Messi or you pulled Ronaldo, like, but that does nothing for you in the next game, in next year's game. Like, I just feel like, you know, there needs to be something that keeps people wanting to build their account, almost snowball it, right, and continue growing and growing. And it's like so many games, just after that season's done, everything's just squashed and back to zero. And like you said earlier, I know that that's probably a part of their marketing and their money making that they don't want to let go. But I do believe that there could be a much deeper level of you know, commitment to a game if there is that ability to roll that accrued value that you put into the game.
Yeah, I fully believe that. I mean, I'm still waiting for Fortnite to come back with Potassius Peels. I think it's one of the coolest skin names. It's a banana Julius Caesar. I think Potassius Peels is so great. I'm there every week. Like, is Potassius back? So on the side of buying, I bet people also want to buy those old skins. And I think that we have so many routes. I mean, NFTs are basically JSON files. We can export almost anything in the game as a JSON file, even maps. One of the things we actually really want to do is allow people to make their own maps and then sell those maps, buy those maps, you know, trade. But one of the really cool ideas that I got recently, I really don't think that anybody else is doing this, animation skins, not emotes, but animation. So we're working on slides right now. You have that, you know, you sit and you slide, you have the knee slide, you have different slides, maybe one where one leg is sticking out right and the other leg is folded. And there are not many games that give you the option of animation skins. It's specifically with locomotion. Like, I want my guy to jump on a ledge and climb up with one hand because I'm a super, you know, like locomotion kind of guy. Or I want to slide a certain type of way that nobody is going to be able to have the slide. It's not going to help me with the game, but people are going to notice when I'm zipping around like nobody's business and I'm not moving like you are. So there's a lot of different ways that we can now gamify these different game aspects: locomotion, animations, VFX. You want to have a certain kind of VFX, have that as an NFT that you can, you know, buy, you can sell, you can trade, you can collect. So I think with Web3 gaming, you're going to see a lot more studios get very creative about the things and components they use as in-game assets.
Yeah. And one other thing, go ahead, William.
No, sorry to interrupt you, but even adding on to that, and I want to be careful here because there are certain ways to go about this that are okay and certain ways that are not, but especially in the NFT spot, decentralized burning. If you can get users to want to, like you said, because if the game wipes out everybody's progress, that's not cool. But what if you could incentivize the users to do their own decentralized burning of their assets for the potential of something, right? You know, you got something that you didn't want so much and you want to put, come on, who has this? League of Legends. You can put in 3 skins, you can burn them for a chance at a new rare.
I mean, I'm thinking like you burn your old Messi, your old Ronaldo, your old Neymar, and you get X amount of packs for the new season, right? Just something like, you know, and especially with smart contracts, like that is, I think, the next step of gaming is like, you're not losing, you know, maybe you're not gaining progress. Maybe it's not going to get, you're not going to get a Messi for a Messi, but like, it's still, you know, because people love pulling packs. They love doing randomized things, like, you know, burning those assets for, you know, a possible chance at new generation, new version skins, what, you know, NFTs, whatever it may be. And even, you know, one question I want to ask you guys is how are you guys, you know, a lot of games I think have really succeeded in this, and that is the ability that anybody can come in and play and they have a level playing field. Fortnite nailed that to a T. Like no matter what you buy, no matter what you do in the game, it's all just your skill level. How is that going to play out?
It has to be cosmetic. I think especially for, and Lucas can talk way more into this on the game level, but the prototype that comes out, for example, it is more COD and Fortnite based. It's less RPG, and it has to be fully cosmetic, right? What you can put into the game has to be cosmetic level, or there could be small advantages that you can gain as long as a regular player, just through the course of playing the game, could also get the same advantages, right? So let's say you spend some of our utility token, Gcred, which is generated by holding our main token, EXO. And Gcred stands for Galactic Credits, by the way. So you get some Gcred, you get some on our swap, on our platform, and you buy a new attachment. Okay, that attachment might increase your damage by 2 or 3%, not a game changer. As long as a regular free-to-play player can also get the same attachment, through, let's say, 24 hours of gameplay, then it's fully balanced, right? So it's two things. Number one, it has to be cosmetic. And if it's not cosmetic, it has to be low impact change, and free-to-play players have to be able to get them as well.
Yeah, and I think that plays to the Call of Duty style. I think that's how it works too, right? You level up and you get new scopes and things like that. But I also think on outside of weapon customization, like powers and different things like that, that is going to be completely even playing field. You start and you basically get G-creds in the game for doing certain things. Headshots, triple kill in 5 minutes or whatnot. You'll get XP and you'll get G-cred. Well, you can use that to maybe boost your skill tree. You're in the photon blast. It's kind of like a destructive energy ball type skill. Well, you work up the ranks of the skill tree and you use G-cred. Well, everybody's going to have 0 on their skill tree and at the start of the game, and they'll level it up with their own merit. So at that level, it's all very equal.
Yeah, this sounds amazing, honestly. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And in the meantime, I want everybody that's watching to hit us up in the live chats with questions that you have about the project for our guests here. We'll rapid fire a couple of those community questions before we get out of here today. So hit us up in the live chat and we'll be back in a minute.
You may have heard that blockchain smart contracts will revolutionize the way the world exchanges value and will dramatically change the way we work, live, and play. But how? Smart contracts are tamper-proof digital agreements that automate transactions like payout loans and dispute resolutions between two entities in a secure, efficient, and trusted manner. But for smart contracts to reach their potential, they need to securely collect real data from the outside world. That's where oracles come in. Because smart contracts cannot inherently get data from outside their native blockchain, they need an oracle solution that is as secure as the blockchain of which it is built upon. Gora is the first pure proof-of-stake consensus oracle, bringing proper decentralization, speed, security, as well as functionality for data aggregation, verifiable randomness functions, or VRF, and off-chain computation to Algorand. Think of it this way. With a proper oracle network, developers can build the applications that function as decentralized marketplaces, lending protocols, ASAs, and liquidity tracking tools. This enables an exponential increase in smart contract functionality, in turn leading to better and more robust applications, increasing user growth on decentralized applications and the Algorand ecosystem as a whole. Oracle networks, like blockchains, need to have proper decentralization, security, speed, reliability, and trustlessness. The Gora Oracle solution has all this covered. For more information, visit Gora.io.
And we're back. So it looks like nobody hit up the live chat with questions. We must have asked all of the good questions that were out there. But I want to leave the space for Lucas and William to just let us know anything about the project that we might not have touched on that you want people to know about before we head out today.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, we are definitely focusing the RPG as a lore-centered game. On our white paper, there is tons of information about the universe, how it works, the different factions that there are. I am a huge sci-fi geek. I mean, I must have been going through at least 4 or 5 different sci-fi shows from Next Generation to Stargate when I got the idea for all of this. And it's really cool to have a story that pulls it in. I've told others I want ExoWorlds to be a great game, but I want the ExoWorlds story to be like Star Wars or like Star Trek. I want it to be big. My dream for this storyline and for our universe is for people to show up in San Diego dressed as, you know, a Draconic Empire, you know, guard, or, you know, a Holy Solar Empire Empress or something like that. I want people to like our game so much and the story that they make up their own costumes and go to Comic-Con events.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. How about you, William?
Well, definitely what Lucas said. Everything on that side. Lucas is the creative and the big focus guy. What I would definitely tell people is come by, visit our website, and check out our token sale. You know, and
what's that website?
ExoWorlds.io.
Perfect.
Come by, check it out. Like I said before, and I do take these values very seriously because I know as myself, I'm not sure whether I would or wouldn't, but there are a lot of people out there waiting for our product, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. So if you're in that boat, sit by, hang tight, watch us, accompany us, come by Discord, have a little chat, throw some memes in there. We love having a good time. But if you're willing to dip in your toes, you know, and everything is for the support and the great success of ExoWorlds, come by our mint page, mint with us, get a little Exo tokens. You know, we have some packages going on for the public sale for those who want extra tokens or less marketplace fees, stuff like that. And just in general, come by and have a good time. The community is really awesome. We're here to welcome anybody who wants to come by and have a good time.
Yeah, and like William said, stay tuned. You know, we're working on a real game. It's being polished by perfectionists, so you know it takes its time. But as soon as it's out, yeah, you are Will.
Yeah,
that's me. So when it does come out, you know, stay tuned. Keep your ears to the ground, because when it does come out, everybody and their mother in the Web3 gaming space is going to see how great we are, and we really want to have you guys all in.
Yeah, well, we're definitely excited. Yeah, no, I was just saying we're definitely excited, and we'll be following along, and obviously hang out after the show's done. We can maybe talk to you guys about some cool ways that we can partner up with testing this game out.
For sure.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
What kind of rigs do we have? 3060s. We got some RTXs.
I use an NVIDIA, and my computer is decent, but it's also old and probably needs to be a little refurbished. So it's gaming. It's good enough for some of the big games like that are out there. But I don't know if it can compete with some people's rigs. That's for sure.
Nice. Well, we got the DLSS 3.5. It's basically a frame rate and resolution accelerator. So it deresolutes your screen to half, and then it uses AI to chop in what it predicts will be the next frame, and then it upscales it back. So it literally jumps up in like 15 frames per second for like the 3060s and older. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Most games I can play that are pretty fast. So I feel like I could keep my own.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Well, it looks like we have a community question rolling through. We'll ask it real quick, and then we'll wrap up. So, a question here: how many different spaceships or vehicles will there be?
Awesome. That's a great question. So in the prototype release, we're not going to do any vehicles. We're not going to do any spaceships. We're trying to get that out for bigger maps. You know, once we've got the optimization, once we have I think right now our maps might be 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers with a nice kind of like forest and natural border that you can explore. But as for getting vehicles, right now we really want to focus on mechanics. We want to focus on blockchain integration. We want to focus on smooth gameplay and balanced gameplay. So that's definitely coming. For the Galaxy map, when it gets released, the vehicles are going to be spaceships and freight ships and things like that. So more on that when we get back into the Galaxy map development. But we do have a buggy prototype where you can ride around, and that's just to make sure that we are going to have the vehicle mechanics down, and that's already done. So the next step is to make the maps bigger and actually give the user a reason to use a vehicle and not just hide in there and use the turret.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but
Right.
we do have the custom items already coming in with the prototype. We have four different themes of items. So alien, dystopian, hyper-futuristic, and solar punk. Each is, solar punk is that white and gold. Alien is all alien looking. And then there's 6 weapons on the range class and 6 weapons on the melee class for each one. So that's 12 times 4, 48 different weapons.
And we'll expand that. So the vehicles will fall under those 4 different themes. And that is part of the lore, by the way. It's the 4 great interstellar empires that waged the second great interstellar war and basically formed the aesthetic paradigm of the soul, the galaxy. Wherever you go, it's either a derivative of one of these 4 empires. So it'll tie in with the lore, and I think people like the look of it.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This has been an awesome episode. I had a really great time talking with you both. Lucas, William, if you could sit tight for a minute as we wrap this up, we'll chat a little bit off screen. But for anyone that watched the end of this video, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and go check out ExoWorlds.io. See if you like it. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the project. And hopefully we'll see you next week for our episode with Stacey Warden, the CEO of the Algorand Foundation. That'll sure be a good one, so be sure to ping that notification bell so you get a notification next time we go live. And we'll catch you the next time, everyone. Peace.
Peace.